All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is another day that we're here to do what we know how to do best. Pa, 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 pa. So today I have someone very dedicated in doing what she knows how to do best, and someone who you would even enjoy to listen to morning, afternoon, evening. Today I'll be having my very one person that I always admire the way she works day and night. All right, guys. So I will leave her to introduce herself.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. My name is Sanel Siwe is the full name. Igboanugo. Thank you for having me.
You say Sanesiwe.
No,
So why are you saying
Saneli
Sanesi?
Siwe.
Sanelisi. So how do you write it? Sanelisiwe. You look like Chinese if you're
Exactly.
writing
It's
it.
not Chinese, it's Zulu.
Zulu. So yeah, born and brought up in Zulu, Zulu in Cape Town.
Mzulu Paqa.
Uzulu.
That's how you say it.
Uzulu.
Gum Zulu Paqa.
Gubuzulu. Okay, if I want to say how are you today in Zulu, how do you say it?
Unjani namhlanje. But
Hmm?
Unjani is also still
Yeah,
fine.
Mjani is
Unjani.
also closer, is it?
Yes.
Then
Xhosa and Zulu are very similar.
they are very
But
similar.
of course, Zulu is better.
Zulu is better. Oh, okay. It's nice having you here. Like seriously. So, I would want to know, and others would also want to know who is Saneni Sidiwe.
No, stick to Sane. Stick to
I think Sane
Sane.
is
This is
better.
why
Okay.
we've cut it short to Sane because a lot of people can't pronounce it, or
Okay, so
non-Zulu speaking
it's
people.
better. Okay, so who is Sanel? If I must put it like that, who is Sanel?
Sane is a young girl just trying to live life and enjoy herself, that strives to just be successful and just have a good life, you know?
It's showing on you know. Showing on you. This Sanel intern who's trying to be successful. And now I also want to know what do you do? Like what do you do?
Okay, so I do a little bit of everything, but predominantly I'm in the real estate industry. And then also I've got my own product line, Afro Sunday, which is products that are dedicated to natural hair and, the nutrition of hair and the growth of hair and just maintaining it and, educating people also on what to do, what not to do, your hair type, how to style your hair, just stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so you see my hair now. If let's say I want to do something with this hair, with your product, then how does it signify Afro Sunday? Why Afro Sunday by the way? Why Afro Sunday?
Well, firstly, your hair.
Why
Your
Afro
hair is
Sunday?
nice. Your hair is nice. They're from
Okay,
here,
thank you.
but it looks a little bit on the drier side,
Mm.
which is the thing that my products would help you with. Adding in moisture, adding in nutrition. It's basically food for hair.
Food for hair.
Yeah,
And the
it's
hair
basically
romance the
food
hair
for
very
hair.
well.
It romances the hair, it's food for hair, and it's all natural based. There's a lot of products that are out there that have chemicals in it. Some are even branded as natural, but they have chemicals in it. And also, chemicals in hair products can lead to cancer. Like studies have shown that it can lead to cancer and all of that stuff. So they're very organic, natural ingredients, and all of that, which is a tick. And then they work, like I said, to making sure that your hair's, you know, it's eating the right foods. It's like when you're on a diet and you're told you have to eat good stuff instead of bad stuff. It's basically the same, but for hair.
Oh, okay. So as it is like this now, my hair now is on diet. Then I have to use Afro Sunday.
It's on drought. It's on drought. It needs a little bit of an oil or a little bit of, leave-in. And I can see that it's got coils in it.
uh,
So once you put the product, it will help those coils to just like pop out a little bit more. Your beard looks nice though. I can see you
oh,
oiled your beard.
thank you, thank you. So
So
with
you,
Afro
you, you
Sunday,
looked
I'll
after your beard and you
moisturize
did in
it,
your hair.
and you know. But why Afro Sunday? Why not Afro Monday or Afro Tuesday, Afro Friday or Afro Saturday? Why Afro
I don't
Sunday?
know. Like I was just sitting in bed. Honestly, I was sitting in bed and I was like, let me tell you actually how Afro Sunday started, right? Um, I decided like I don't want to relax. I hate doing my hair. Like I hate it. And from a child, I always had like good, healthy hair and long hair. So when you're a child, people like always gravitate towards your hair. They want to touch it, they want to feel it, and I hated it. Like I didn't like it. So I think I grew up with that. And as I got older, I didn't want to go to salons anymore. I didn't want to sit there. I didn't want to do anything. So I stopped doing anything to my hair, and then it became natural. But I wasn't planning to go natural. It was just like, I don't want to do my hair. And it became natural. Then the 1 year, I decided as a New Year's resolution, I was like, okay, I've got natural hair, but it's always like in a weave or it's always in braids or whatever. Let me just wear it out, you know? And then I decided to wear it out. So that year I was like, okay, this is my year. I'm going to wear my hair out. But then I'm wearing out my hair and I don't know what to do with it. Like, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to use on it. I don't know how to style it. And all the products in the stores at that time were more like advertised to, okay, we call it like three type hair, but y- that's a whole another story for me to explain that. But it's like colored people hair, for example, very sleeky and like very coily and all that stuff. And my hair is not like that. So I struggled. And then I went onto YouTube to see like what people are using. And I started mixing my own stuff. And then people were like, oh, what are you using for your hair? Your hair is beautiful. And then I decided, okay, let me turn it into business. Right. And then I was laying in bed. I was like, okay, what will I call it? And the name just came out, Afro Sunday. But also, it's not Sunday the day, because I know the Sunday that you're thinking about. It's not Sunday, my husband. No, it's not Sunday the day. It's not Sunday, my husband. It's Sunday, the ice cream, like ice cream
Oh,
Sunday.
there's ice cream called Sunday.
Yes, like
Oh.
Sunday. So at the end, it's AE. So the whole idea is that, like, why does your hair have to be like this horrible thing that is like strenuous, that is tedious? You don't know what to do with it. It can be a nice thing. It can be like an ice cream. I mean, look how I've tied my hair now. It's like an ice cream, you know? And then if you look on the logo as well of Afro Sunday, there's a cherry on top. So on an ice cream, you put a cherry on top. So on Afro Sunday, the little logo has a cherry on top because your hair is the cherry, you know?
So if you have Afro Sunday on, can you wear wig as well?
Yes, Afro Sunday is about just, making sure, like for example, you took care of your beard, but you didn't take care of your hair. So the message is the same also with
Okay.
Afro Sunday. Like it doesn't matter whether you have a weave or you have braids or whatever you do, but at the end of the day, under the weave, under that wig is still your hair, under the braids is still your hair. So whether you have braids or you have a weave or a wig on, like put an oil on, put a moisturizer on, put a leave-in conditioner on, like take care of your hair and then do whatever else you want to do, because a lot of people they'll have braids and then the hair is taken care of. And braids, you can keep braids for like up to 3 months. So imagine your hair not eating for 3 months. It's like not getting anything for 3 months. Or you have a wig on, people keep their cornrows for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they just put on a wig and they go. But before you put on the wig, feed your hair and then move on, you know?
So now I'm knowing that other people also do this kind of business. What makes your own Afro Sunday stand out from other people? If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I think for me, like what I strive for the most or what I try to achieve the most, look, I'm still growing. I still, have big dreams for the brand, but I think, um, a lot of, especially when it comes to natural African stuff, brands in the natural hair space are very like Africa mama, like very like brown and
Not Jama
green
Mama.
and nature, but I'm not like that. I'm a young YOLO in today's time type of girl, and there's a lot of people that are like that as well. Just because I have natural hair doesn't mean I'm Mama Africa. No, I'm still me.
This
Being
is young
natural
gay
is just,
Africa.
yeah, it's just no. Being natural is just a choice, but it doesn't mean like I write poetry or I'm now like, this thing. So I think that makes Afro Sunday a little bit different is the culture, the culture of it. I would like it to be very, in today's time, very relevant, very like now. And it's just about, the care of hair
Mm.
and the health of hair. It doesn't matter if you are like you literally, there's a lot of people. Let me surprise you. There's a lot of people that wear wigs like day in and day out, but underneath the wigs, they have afros. A
Okay.
lot of people,
Okay.
So you can be a person that likes to wear wigs, like, so what? You know what I mean? But underneath that wig, take care of your afro, you know? So you can be that girl still. It doesn't mean that you have to be like, I'm proud, natural, and you know, Africa or whatever else it is, Yeah.
Okay. So if I may ask, how do you manage? Like you're married, right? You're married.
Yes.
So how do you handle like a real estate agent, Afro Sunday business manager or CEO, and being a wife and a mother to the kids? How do you manage everything? Because
Yeah.
when I see there are lots to be done, being a wife only is another job on its own. Not to
Yes, it
talk of doing other
is
stuff
with
like
kids. And my youngest is 10 months. So he's like everywhere, running everywhere. But
Monife.
firstly, it's passion. Like I remember, like just before I got married, like I told my husband, like that then I was working in corporate. I was working in corporate. I was working like a 9 to 5, and I loved my job. I was in the fashion industry. That's actually what I studied. I studied fashion, but I think by nature, I'm just a creative. And I've always liked, this thing of building your own thing. And like I've got that hustle, I've got that hustle spirit. And I told him, look, I'm working now, but in the future, I might not. I might want to go do my own thing. And at the time, I didn't have Afro Sunday. At the time, I wasn't even in real estate, but I just had that in me. So I think it's passion, and if it's your calling, because some people, they would prefer to climb up the corporate ladder instead of the hustle life. But for me, I was climbing the corporate ladder, but I was like, no, this is not it. So it's the passion, and then secondly, it's the support. Like you have to be around people that support you, people that understand you. Like we've got, two kids at home, and it's not easy. But my husband comes in, and when I have to do something, we kind of like share our timeline a little bit.
responsibility rather.
Yeah, like he
Okay.
helps a lot. He helps a
So you
lot. He
did
helps a
less job,
lot.
then he do the more.
Yeah, I
Ah.
don't wanna lie. Like I don't wanna lie. He's more domesticated than I am. So he really does a lot at home. So I really do appreciate that about him. And then it's also just like planning, having sure, you keep a calendar. I keep a calendar for everything. Otherwise I would forget, and prioritizing. And the benefit of real estate and having my own business is that I'm not in an office, where I have to be there at 9 and I have to leave at 5. So in one day, like before I came here,
Mm.
I was literally doing real estate stuff, and then after I leave here, I'm gonna go and do Afro Sunday stuff. So in a day, I can like manage my time. If I've got bookings for Afro Sunday, I'll put it in, and then if it's something for real estate, I'll change the time, and it's just really management. But it's not easy. It gets tiring, and that's why you need to have the passion. Because if you don't have the passion, it's not gonna work.
So in whereby, let's say at some point now, let's say you have an order to be delivered 12 o'clock, which is like Afro Sunday to be delivered,
Yeah.
and you just got a random call from your real estate that as in someone is looking for a house urgently and need you there immediately. So how do you cope with this kind of situation?
Well, in Afro Sunday, I do have like a mini staff, right? So if I'm with my staff, then I'll leave them with that task, and go do the other thing. If on that day I'm just alone and they're not there, then I just manage the situation, like sometimes I tell a white lie, sometimes,
Why
I'll
not
say,
black lie?
no, it's a white lie.
Why not black
No, it's a
lies?
white lie. It's a white lie. Like, if somebody wants to do something real estate, like around real estate, I'll say, like, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to tell them, look, I'm still busy with my business. I'll get back to you. I can't say that. The same as well with Afro Sunday. I can't say to an Afro Sunday client, oh, I'm still selling a house. Like, so that's why it's a white lie,
Mm.
because I'll say I'm busy, doing something, or I'm driving, I'll get back to you, or this or that. But it hardly ever happens. If somebody wants a book when I'm doing something else, I'll say, like, okay, this time I'm not available. Let's make it this time. But it's crazy because I'll just be going in from one thing to another, not one thing to another. Like, it's mad. It's crazy. I need help. I need a
You can employ
PA.
me as your PA. That is
I
not a
need a
problem.
PA. I will.
I'm originally, see, in fact, I'm born to be a PA, and you know my bills. I'm costly.
Oh my gosh. No, no,
So,
no.
so what? If I may ask, what are your challenges when it comes to real estate?
Real estate, I don't honestly have challenges. I think challenges is just making sure that you've always got a house to sell. So how I started in real estate. Let me tell you how I started in real estate. How I started, and it goes back to the passion thing as well.
Mm,
Every Sunday started from my hair, the passion. With real estate, I used to, and I was working in corporate at the time, but I used to live on Property 24. Like, I used to love just looking at houses, like especially expensive houses, like 25 million up. I used to love, love, like I would go to Property 24 and just shop, and then that progressed into going to view. So I'd dress up, I'd call as if I'm going to buy a house, and then I'd make an appointment to go view. I'd dress up, get in my car, and I would go and view. And I'd go and view, like literally in my area. I viewed all the houses that I love to see. If I see a house on Property 24 and I like it, I am going to see it. And I'd make appointments and I'd go see. So there was another friend of mine who was in real estate, and I actually helped her to do the interview, you know, and she got the job. And then I used to tell her, like, try do this, But it was, for me at the time, I was just doing it, and I used to watch all the real estate shows, like Selling Sunset and Selling Tampa. Like, they were my favorites. And then she left for greener pastures, but she was like, why don't you just actually, like, join? Like, you're always giving me advice. You're always telling me what to do. You always, like, you love it. Why don't you just do it? You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, let me try. And at the time, I was also pregnant with my youngest.
Solid human being.
I
Okay.
swallowed a human being. Yes. I was pregnant with my youngest. So I didn't really want to be in the corporate space anymore. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, let me just try it. And I thought it was going to be what I was used to, which is the viewings and the this,
Mm.
So I thought it was going to be nice times and, oh, I'm going to be viewing. And I got there and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, because before you sell the house, you need to find the house. You need to actually convince a person to sell their house, or find somebody that was already thinking about it, because there's a lot of agents out there, and here in Cape Town, it's still very white dominant
Mm.
as well. So that's also another challenging thing. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it because it's from passion, and thank God I'm doing well in it. So I can't complain.
So since you started this your real estate job, has someone ever contacted you that they want to buy a house? In your mind, you've started calculating how much you're going to make and what you're going to use the money for, and they end up not buying.
No, no, I've never ever. Firstly, I've been very grateful. I've been very, very grateful. I don't know. I swear, I promise you, I'm God's favorite child. Like, I swear. Like, I haven't been long in real estate, but people have just been like, trusting me. Because with real estate, with Afro Sunday, for example, people can buy because they want to support you.
Yes, that
You
is true.
understand? They want to support you. They want to, kind of, be with you in this whole thing. But with real estate, it's different, because it's a legal transaction. There's lawyers involved, there's attorneys involved, there's a lot of things involved. So in real estate, it's a trust thing. It's not a I want to support you. People can refer you because they want to support,
Yeah.
but for you to decide that I want to use this person to sell my house or I want to use this person to buy my house, it's a trust thing. So I've been very grateful in that area because I do have people that come and they want to buy or they want to sell and whatnot. But for me, and there's a lot of people that do this thing, and I don't. I've never done it, and I think it works perfectly for me. I don't calculate my commission. I don't because at that moment, if you've given me your trust, my priority is to make sure that I don't fail you. If you're looking for a house to buy, let me look for that house that you want, that is your new home, that you're going to build your family with, or whatever it is. If you're looking for a house to sell, you want to move to greener pastures, or you want to move out the country, or whatever the case may be, or maybe you can't afford to keep the house, or whatever it is. So I need to do that. Yes, of course, at the back of my mind, I know there's commission and I know how much it is because you have to negotiate commissions and all of that, but I don't put it as like my driving force or whatever. And there's a thing also that you can do. If you've made a deal, you can kind of like get your commission before the actual time, because commissions you only get paid out like after 3 or 4 months. It's not immediate, you know so you can, like, kind of like pay yourself forward. But then if you pay yourself forward and what you've just said happens, now you have to pay that money back. If a deal falls through or something wrong happens at the end of the 3 4 months, you have to pay that money back. So for those reasons, and just not making money a priority, I kind of have it at the back of my head. But you know a week to payday, then I start planning. Okay,
Strategize.
money's coming in. What is the girl gonna do? That's only when I start like literally planning.
When is your next payment coming so that I know when to also find my way to your house?
Buy a house or sell a house for me, then you'll know. Then you'll know.
Within the scale of 1 to 100, I wouldn't say you should tell me how much like your commission is when you sell a house. I'm not saying you should tell me within the scale of 1 to 100. Can you give me an idea? Because I want to know, what if I want to be a real estate agent also?
Let me just put it this way.
Okay.
In corporate, you can have a very good salary, but it's always going to be steady. And the chances of you becoming a billionaire are slim. But in real estate or in entrepreneurship, it's not a steady income, it's not a guaranteed income. But if you put in the work, it can make you millions. So it all depends.
Okay. So if I may ask so long, like most usually we all know here in South Africa,
Yes.
being a foreigner, only being in this country,
Yes.
is another job on its own.
Yes.
Why is it that foreigners, they find it so difficult to get a house or just to have a house on their own, to even
Yes.
rent, not to talk of to buy?
Yes.
So why is it that difficult for foreigners to get houses in South Africa?
Okay, let's talk about the rental part first, right? The rental part it's just unfortunate because you get good foreigners and you get bad foreigners. And when I say bad foreigners, there's people that will rent out places with forged paperwork, right? And then when it comes to paying, they don't pay. The landlord has you in for 3 months, you're not paying. And the South African law when it comes to rentals and eviction and all of that stuff is quite tricky, and it requires a lot of steps. You can't just chase somebody out. You know what I mean? You need to go to high court, you need to do this and you need to do that. And that process alone, the person is still in your house, not paying rent. You still have to pay your bond. You still have to pay your levies, your rates, or whatever it is. And the person is staying there for free. And it becomes a little bit even trickier, more trickier if they don't have a South African ID, because that person can literally run away and you'll never find them and your money is gone. They can vanish and your money is gone, right? And there's people that have done that. So for the ones that are not like that, that don't have, that heart to do that, and really, really they are going to pay, they're gonna go pay on time, they end up suffering from the ones that have let the whole system down, which is quite a large number. So everybody gets middled up in this one pot. And landlords tend to not want to take that risk. They tend to not want to, I mean, for a landlord, for example, they never really get to meet you as a person, they get to meet your paperwork, what's on paper. And once they start seeing things not adding up, maybe you are self employed, and most foreigners are self employed, and when you're self employed, it's not a guaranteed income. Sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't. So, what does the landlord have as a guarantee to make sure that you're going to pay, so it's just them trying to, really stay away from that whole process of eviction, because so many situations have happened where people will stay months for free without paying. They can't evict them, or they run away and you can't find them. And that's money. Anybody that buys property as an investment is buying not because, they have extra money. They're trying to make more money. So for them, it's a business as well. And unfortunately, it's just unfair, because it kind of categorizes everybody in this one pot, and not everybody is like that, you know? Yeah.
Okay, so the only question I want to ask you again before we start rounding up so long, buying a house, like as in South Africa, what does it take to buy a house, to own a house? What are the requirements and what does it take to have a house in South Africa?
Okay, let me start with, if you are a resident, like a South African resident, you
Okay.
don't have to be South African, but if you've got a South African ID and you're a South African resident, you can either be a cash buyer, right? You've got the money and you can buy. That tends to be quite easy because you've got the cash. You just have to pay, the deposit if you're paying a deposit, attorney fees, and then obviously the property, and there's steps to this whole process, but I'm not going to go through all the steps. But basically, when you're a cash buyer, it's kind of simple. And then there's also, if you're buying with a bond, if you're buying with a bond, and the bank is going to loan you the money, then you would have to apply for the bond. To qualify for a bond, you would need to have a salary, a payslip. They normally ask for 3 months bank statement to show that the salary is reflecting on your bank account. Then you would need your IDs. And then you would also need marriage certificates if you're married. If you're married in community of property, then that purchase is both you and your husband. If you are married out of community of property, then your marriage certificate will tell us that you are married out of community of property, and then you can purchase the property on your own. When it comes to bonds and stuff like that, ultimately it's the bank that decides. But generally, how they calculate it is that the bond repayment amount must be a third of your salary. So if you are earning like 15,000 Rand a month, for example, the bond repayment amount of the house you should be looking for is 5,000 Rand. So don't go and be looking for a house that is like 5 million or 4 million or whatever it is, but you're earning 15,000 Rand, because you're never going to be approved for that bond. And then also they look at your credit score. Are you paying your accounts on time? What's your credit looking like? And there's also ways as well, like with my clients, I have clients that are working, they have a pay slip, but their credit score is not low, and not because I mean is low, not because they're not paying accounts or anything like that, but probably they haven't done the right things to kind of like bump up their score. So I would advise them, okay, you want to buy a house in the next 4 months, do one, two, three, four, five, and then we'll do a pre-qualification after 4 months and see, what the bank says. So there's ways. I mean, that's why it's always best to work with an agent, and an agent that knows what they're doing, because then they can guide you in terms of what to do. And there's also a lot of people that are working with a salary, with a pay slip, with a good credit score, but they don't know that they can buy a house. They don't. I mean, when I started working in corporate, I was very young. I was straight out of tertiary, and I wish that I had met somebody that had told me, like, you can buy a house, because I would have been able to buy a house then. But because I didn't know, and a lot of people see buying a house as like this big tedious thing, like you must be rich, or you must be, you know what I mean. But there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that qualify, but they don't know. So speak to an agent and find out. It doesn't cost you anything. So that's the bond process. And then obviously with the bond, it always helps if you have a cash deposit as well, like a 10% or 20% cash deposit. Not in all cases, because sometimes depending on your credit score and all of that stuff, the bank can't give you 100%, but there's still also like transfer fees and attorney fees and bond fees and all of that stuff that comes into play. So you have to be kind of ready. And then what other way? Yeah, so there's cash, there's bond, and then also there's a jewel. Like you can buy half bond and half cash. With bond, you can either buy as a person, like you, Izzy, are buying, applying as yourself, or you can buy as a business, like Afro Sunday is buying a property. But if you buy as a business, it's a little bit also more complicated. You must make sure that all your financials in place, your SARS, your taxes, your VETs, all your certificates are in place, and then you also need to have an accountant that's going to do your bookkeeping and all those kind of reports, because there's also certain reports that the bank requires. So it ends up being, if you don't have that in place in your business already, it ends up being more expensive to buy a house if you buy it with a business rather than yourself, because then you have to go out and get an accountant, to make sure that your books are in place and your financials are in place, and you need to give a 3-year report. Whereas if you're buying as a person, it's only a 3 months bank statement. So it kind of depends. But if your business is in place and you've got your financials in place and your everything's up to date, then it's not a problem. You can buy with your business. And then with foreigners, it's pretty much the same process. The only difference is that with foreigners, banks only give up to 50% of the bond, whereas with citizens, South African citizens, it's 100. They can go up to 100%. So with foreigners, it's only up to 50%, and the other 50% must be cash. And then again, the same process. If you are employed and you are working, then you will need a salary, your passport, your visa as well. You can't buy if you're on a student visa. You need to be on a working, is it visa or permit? I'm not really
Permit, yeah,
permit.
permit. Sorry,
Yeah, I'm
have a
not
permit.
really. Yeah. So you need to have you can't
The business
a
permits
business permit
or
or
permanent
or
residence
well, permanent
or
residence would now fall into
you do
South
ID.
African, into ID, once
Yeah,
you have an
kind of.
ID. Yeah. So, but you can't buy on a student visa. You have to either be doing business or you have to be employed, right? And then it's the same process: your bank statements, your pay slips, and all of that. And then if it's a business and you're buying as a foreigner, then your accounting and your financials need to be in place, and your accountant needs to give that financial report that they require for 3 years, and all of that stuff, and then you can buy with your business. Yeah, and the other 50% is cash, but most foreigners buy cash, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, which is true. Which
Yeah.
is true. Okay, so like if you're working now, let's say you're working as a South African,
Yes.
how many years are you required to pay for the bond?
Bonds are like from like 20 years, up to like 32, I think it is. Some even go a little bit more, you know. Um, but it depends on the bank and it depends on your contract with the bank. You can always make those years lesser. A lot of people don't. They just leave it as is because obviously the lesser the years, the more the installment amount is. But you can also take out a bond for like 20 years, 25 years, and be paying more than the installment amount, meaning that you're cutting the years shorter. The more you pay over your installment amount, the years come down, and the less you end up paying, like in totality, because there's also interest rates and all of that stuff that goes on top. So you may be buying a house for 5 million, but after like 20 years, you've paid like 8 million in total, or 10 million. I don't know the maths. I'm just calling out numbers.
Mm.
So you end up paying more. But the less the years are, it gets closer to that
Reduce the paying
five
rate that you're
million
supposed to pay
in
in
totality.
total.
Yeah, the installment will still stay the same, but in totality, you'll finish sooner and you would have paid less. So it's always advisable. Like if you have a bond and your bond requires you to pay 10,000 Rand, for example, every month, an extra 500 or an extra 1,000 Rand, to make it 11,000 or 10,500 will cut you like 3 years off your bond or 4 years off your bond. And that will cut off like
A
a
lot.
lot of rands and thousands, you know. So you kind of save in the long run.
So what if after buying a house for like 20 or 30 million and you paid, and at some point maybe you have 50,000 to go and
Yes.
you couldn't finish the payment. What are you going to do? Are they going to take the house from you, or
Unfortunately so.
they will take the house from you?
Unfortunately so.
And what of the money that I paid?
Well, it's gone.
It's
It's
gone.
gone. But that's why people like sometimes end up selling their house because a house appreciates. It's not like a car. A
Mm.
car depreciates, it loses value. A house, it adds value over the years. So if you've had a bond for 20 years and you've paid for 15 years, in that 15 years, the value of your house has appreciated. And now you broke, you can't pay anymore, you know, life happened, you lost your job, or whatever the case may be, you can't keep up. You've got an opportunity to sell your house,
Okay.
you know, you sell your house, it would have been of a more value to what you bought it for. You get in touch with a real estate agent, they do a valuation for you, which is free, and they tell you what your property is worth now. You know, you might have added a million on top, you might have added 2 million on top or a couple of thousands. It all depends on the area and the
Mm.
square meterage and what you've done in the house. Maybe you've added, extra rooms, you've extended it, maybe you've added solar systems, you've added I don't know, air conditioning,
Yeah,
you've
like
added a
whatever you want
pool,
in that
you know
house.
what I mean? So the
Yeah.
value is like more. And then once you've sold the house, the bank takes what you owe them, which is the 500,000 or whatever it is, and you keep the rest. With the rest, you can now downsize, and buy a smaller house or a house that's worth what you have as cash and be bond free. Buy a house cash, and downsize.
All right. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate for you giving out this information for people out there, because people out there might be looking for opportunity to buy house or something,
I'm
but they don't know
here.
how to go with it. Obviously, I'm plugging you right now.
I'm
Please hit that
here.
up
I'm
anyway, right
here.
away. And maybe some people from US, Germany, anyone, they could
Yes,
hit you up and say that maybe they
yes,
are struggling also on how
yes.
to get these things done,
Yeah.
but they
And the
don't know.
market is very good in South Africa for foreigners. It's
Serious.
very good for South African for for foreigners to buy in here. There's actually a lot of people that travel to South Africa that come just to buy an apartment for like Airbnb or, rentals, and then they go and they leave it with us to manage, because we also do rental management and Airbnb management and all of that stuff. And they go, and every month they're getting their money.
Well, including rooms. You guys also.
Rooms.
I'm asking,
Like,
what if people also want like room, just a room to rent instead of renting like a full apartment? I'm asking if you
no.
guys so you guys
Well,
specialize on
firstly,
sell
that is
only.
actually not even legal.
Okay.
Subletting is illegal
All right.
in this country.
Okay.
You can't rent out rooms, This is why landlords end up like not wanting foreigners.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not stereotyping, but in most cases, foreigners tend to do that. They tend to get a place and then they rent out a room to somebody else. South Africans do as well. It's not that we don't, we do as well. So those are all the things that sometimes landlords are like, maybe not. Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy here. But it is illegal to sublet.
Okay.
No
problem.
So we don't do that.
Now
No.
we know. Thank you very much. Before we round up now, let's play a little game. Let's play a little game. This game, just be fast as much as you can.
Okay.
As much as you can.
No.
Are you ready?
No.
One. Okay. Are you ready? Shake your body.
No.
Shake your body. Are you ready?
I'm joking. I'm ready. Let's go.
You're ready? Okay.
I like games.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Mercedes Benz, BMW.
Okay, Mercedes Benz because I have one now.
Okay, Mercedes
But
Benz.
I actually like a Jaguar.
You're like, not Jaguar. I will not even say Jaguar. Soda or whiskey?
Soda.
Dog or cat?
Dog.
Burger or shawarma?
Shawarma. I'm a Durban girl.
Oh, so Durban is like shawarma.
Durban has nice shawarmas. You guys here in Cape Town, you don't have shawarmas.
What do you mean?
You
Who's
don't
your
have
favorite
shawarmas.
artist?
My brother,
Your
DJ
brother?
Socks.
Okay, is
I'm
he a
being
singer?
biased. He's a DJ. He's a singer. He's a
Okay, no,
performer.
do you know any of his song?
Yes.
Okay, can you
Okay,
sing
wait.
just
There's
one?
so many.
Just one.
Okay, wait. I'll sing the popular.
Okay,
popular one.
let's.
Oh
Are you
God! Now you're
ready?
making me sing.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Okay, wait. Why are you making me sing?
What's
I've
the
got a
title of the
terrible
song, by
voice,
the
and
way?
it's like a DJ
Why are you
song.
plugging your brother
They're like,
already? You see?
okay, Mofunu Kruva, was it the bed?
Oh, let's go. Let's
Okay,
go. So are you
wait.
ready? Let's
Let me
go.
sing another one.
Okay, are you ready?
Kulalam ul bambe. Kulalam ulondolaze. Tina sitandu bumnand or something like that. Wima. Tina sitandu bumnand. I don't know. I'm like watching this song. It's not a song that you sing to. It's a song that you dance to and
Okay, yeah.
be in the vibe.
You can dance.
You're in the
Guaraguara.
vibe.
South Africa, they like Guaraguara.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for being in this show today. Thank you for honoring me, though you disappointed me sometimes. But thank you very much for coming, and I really do appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming.
I didn't disappoint you.
I appreciate you
What
only
was
once.
it?
Only once. Oh,
I was sick. I
have
had food
stomach.
poisoning.
I have this.
I had food poisoning.
No, it's okay. Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate you. And please, guys, if you know you like this video, you made it to this video today, please don't forget to like, comment, share, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified each time I post a new video. But for now, this is bye from me as a Cheesy TV. Bye for now.